Good lighting.
We are back. Welcome to the Ask Coach Mike show. We're excited to have you back. Coach Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic. Has nothing to do with our guest.
Fantastic. Well, we do have some amazing guests.
Oh, yeah.
Coach Mike, we have Kyle Yates, a professional pickleball player that most everybody should know, maybe the biggest name that's ever held a paddle in the sport. And his partner, Randy Sussman. Maybe a few people don't know Randy, but Randy is an incredible guy in his own right. So welcome,
Let's not
guys.
get confused. People might be thinking, that's his pickleball partner? They don't look very close in age, you know? So we'll just get that clear right now.
Well, what is it, the split? You guys could play split together,
They
right?
could. They could play split, right?
Just about. Thanks for having us, guys.
Grandfather, grandson.
Thank you both very much for being on the show. Appreciate
Fantastic.
you both.
Welcome. Well, let's dive right into it. So, Kyle, let's start with you. This is Coach Mike's favorite question. So we're going to start with that. And then, Randy, we'll jump over to you on the same question.
Sure.
How did pickleball find you, and how many years have you been playing, Kyle?
Oh, it found me about, I want to say 10 years ago. I was in high school, and my uncle actually taught me tennis. And he started playing pickleball with some of his friends at a local gym. They played indoors just a couple days a week. And he said, Kyle, I got this new sport for you. It's like ping pong tennis. You're going to love it. You got to come try it. And I was like, what was it called? And he goes, well, pickleball. And I started laughing. I said, no, I'm good.
Right.
No, that's okay. And sure enough,
Well, what were you doing
persistent.
then when he invited you? What were you doing then, sports-wise?
Tennis every day.
Right.
Tennis every day, and then tournaments on the weekends. And so I was just busy. And at some point, he's like, Kyle, what are you doing Saturday? And I was like, crap, nothing. And he's like, all right, I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock. And he dragged me out to the courts and played, and he whooped me. But it was a lot of fun. And I said, hey, let's go again next week. And I was hooked from there.
So say a little bit about your uncle. He's a very special guy.
My uncle's a special guy. Yeah, he was in the Marine Corps for 30 years.
Yeah.
But he played a lot of squash, tennis, all sorts of racket sports. And so he actually got me playing tennis when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he took me out to play squash a few times, and then he taught me pickleball. Fun fact about him, he's the Florida State champion in pickleball in the senior games. The guy's a beast.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So was tennis done once you started playing pickleball?
Not right away. I didn't take pickleball very seriously, actually, at first. I played just for fun, like once a week with him or a couple times a month with him, but didn't really take it seriously. And then a couple years go by, it started growing. They started building some courts outside, and I started watching matches on YouTube from out west, and I saw these guys online, and I was like, they look good, but I feel like I can beat them. And I was beating everybody in my hometown. And I was like, I'd like to see how I do against some of these players. And I saw a tournament in California, and I said, Mom, can I please fly to California to play a pickleball tournament?
Please.
And she's like, no, are you crazy? I'm not flying to California for a tournament. And so I was bummed. And a guy that I played with back home, I mentioned it to him. I said, yeah, I really want to do this tournament. Everyone's going to be there. And he said, well, shoot, I want to see how well you do. I'll fund your trip. So a buddy of mine who I played with actually bought my plane ticket, signed me up, flew me out there. I didn't know anybody. Signed up with random partners. Never met him before, and played and held my own sort of. Ended up doing pretty well in mixed, pretty well in men's, and then the last day was singles, and I won gold in the pro singles.
Wow.
And then everyone from then on knew who I was.
That's a great story. Randy, how about you? How did pickleball find you, and how long?
It was the week after the inaugural U.S. Open. I worked for a Fortune 500 company, and they moved me from Las Vegas to Marco Island, Florida. And I got there in March, and all I was doing was working, going home, eating a bunch of ice cream, a bunch of fattening food.
Nobody knew that one, Randy.
You see? And going to sleep and waking up and doing the same thing.
Right.
And there was a TV news show called The Morning Blend. And they came on one morning as I was getting ready for work, and they said, be sure to come out to the East Naples Community Park. The first annual U.S. Open of Pickleball. The best players in the world are going to be there. So I said, well, that looks like fun. Okay. So that night I came home, I ate ice cream, I ate food. I watched
Randy heard the word blend. He figured there'd be a blender there, right? With the ice cream going on.
milkshakes and things. So the next morning, that morning blend came on. They were live from East Naples Community Park. And I said, boy, that really looks like fun now. They're still hitting the ball. You could hear the pop of the ball. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm off from work. It was the weekend. It was Saturday. And I went there. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw all these courts. And I think there were only 800 players that very first U.S. Open. So what happened was I watched them play for a little while, and they had the tent. And I started looking at all the paddles. And when I see something, just show me one thing, not even two things, because I can't make a choice.
Right.
So a gentleman just started helping me, showing me some paddles. He said, come on, let's hit the ball a little bit. So under the tent on that asphalt, we just started dinking the ball. And he asked me, what level do I play? And I didn't know what he meant because I never played tennis or anything. And I guess I could do okay hitting it. And he brought me over, I'll never forget, to Pickleball Central. He didn't even have me buy one of his paddles. He brought me to Pickleball Central. And by coincidence, I bought a Paddle Tech Tempest paddle. And he told me, you come back here on Monday night at 5:30. And there's a young guy, his name is Chris. And he runs a little league at nighttime. And it's a lot of fun. They'll teach you how to play. You'll be up and running in no time. So sure enough, I got there at 5 o'clock. Chris was there. There was only a group of maybe 8 people at that time. The sport wasn't what it is now. And man, I picked it up right away. I learned how to play right away. It took me about 2.5 months to learn how to keep score of it and to be in the right service box and all. But the first night I picked up the paddle like everyone else. I just fell in love with the sport, and I kept going there every night. Next thing you know, it grew from 8 people to 16. And by the time the company moved me to Miami, we were up to like 65 people.
Great. Wow. So the $1 million question is, in comes the pickleball paddle, out goes the ice cream, or no?
Oh, no, I still have, I have 2 half gallons, chocolate chip and coffee. I'm going to start eating as soon as we're done.
Okay, you don't have to wait. You can start now.
Thanks.
No one will care.
All right.
So for a time of reference, what year was the first Open? You might even know that, Kyle.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about, what, 5 years ago? Fantastic.
Lots of change for you, Kyle, right? 5 years.
Yeah, my first tournaments were in like 2012. My first nationals was 2014. I would have gone 13, but I was too young. I would have had to play juniors, and I thought it would be a waste of my time and money.
Where were they held? For some people that watch the show, they don't even know what you're talking about. Where's nationals? Where was it held?
The nationals back in 2000, all the way until I think 2015, was in Arizona. And I think actually 2015 it was in Palm Creek, which is a big fancy RV resort near Phoenix. And then it moved. Now it's in California, Indian Wells Tennis Garden, which is amazing.
They just take out a tennis center, one of the nicest ones in USA, and just recreate it into a pickleball world. They really do. They do a great job.
Oh yeah,
beautiful venue.
So Kyle, that brings us right into the question of what's your favorite pickleball venue? And I mean, it can be a place like Indian Wells. It's just once a year, but what's your favorite place?
It could be a private. He just must have hit a mute or something.
Oh, you got muted, Kyle. I'm not sure what happened.
We can just ask him again. He pushed something on his computer and
it's all right. Am I back?
Oh, there, you're back.
Sorry,
you're back.
Someone tried to call me.
That's okay.
I mean, it's probably Indian Wells. It's just a different atmosphere, different vibe. Growing up, I always wanted to be a professional athlete, and I quickly realized it probably wasn't going to happen for me. But playing on center court at Indian Wells under the lights with the grandstand stadiums, it's a pretty cool feeling. So that and probably center court at the U.S. Open, 2 favorite spots to play.
Not everyone knows where the U.S. Open's held.
Oh, down in Naples right now.
Randyville.
Yeah, across the street from Randy's house.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
East Naples Community Park, and Jim Ludwig's done so much work. He passed the torch to Ryan and Bob
Correct.
fairly recently, but boy, I always talk about if there was a Mount Rushmore of pickleball, you'd have to put Jim up there right away.
Sure.
Without him, there may not even be one court at East Naples Community Park.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great friend.
Yeah, East Naples is an amazing place.
Well, Jeff is lucky. He moved from Naples to Naples. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, and the other Naples plays pickleball on an outdoor hockey rink that, goes like this. And if it rains, even if it dries, you have the puddles, and it's just crazy. And
Good
it's
fun, huh?
not good for your
Challenging.
knees.
Yeah.
All right, Randy. I know that you shared some of this on the Pickleball Summit happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
but when did you first meet Kyle, and did you guys become friends right away?
Well, it's funny. Kyle probably doesn't remember, but as soon as I started playing, I could hit the ball, and I still can hit. I'm not that good, but I have a good forehand. I think so. So anyway, there weren't too many players there, and I was kind of, because again, there weren't a lot of players like there are now.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of running out of players to play with a little bit. So this man that I befriended with over 4 days, I believe it was a Friday morning, I said, what about the kid over here next door? Let's play with him. It looks like he can handle my shot. And he says to me, he goes, well, he's only the best player in the world. And it was Kyle. And I just said hello in passing. And then a few weeks later, Kyle was playing in one of Jim's Southern Tropics tournaments, those winter tournaments. I forget if it was in December or January or February. But I just happened to stop him and said, hey, I've seen you practice in the morning here. And I just started making small talk, and really, really kind, really friendly, and just talked about the game and shared with me the same stories that he shared with you about how he learned how to play.
Mm-hmm.
And he shared his number with me. And my younger brother, Dean, was coming in from California. I had just gotten him a paddle and some balls, and he was picking the game up fairly quickly. And he said, Randy, he goes, everybody talks about this guy, Kyle Yates. He's in Florida. He's one of the best player in the world. He goes, do you think you could get a lesson with him? Because I've told him about Kyle. He goes, well, I'll call him up and ask. So I called up Kyle and mentioned who I was. And he said, sure. He goes, you can have it in East Naples, or you can come up to me at Brooks Park. And at 3 o'clock. So sure enough, we're up there, Dean and I, we're waiting, and there are a group of people playing, and it's 3:10. And this woman comes up to me and said, do you want to play? And we said, no, we're actually waiting for someone for a lesson. And she said, oh, who is that? And we said, Kyle Yates. And she goes, I don't think Kyle Yates is giving a lesson today. I go, yeah, 3 o'clock. And she goes, I don't think so. I go, well, I think he is. She goes, well, I'm his mother. I think I know. So she calls him up, and it was Julie, obviously, and I didn't know Julie. And we get up there, and she goes, oh, yeah, you're right. He is coming. So Dean and I are just warming him up a little bit in the far court. And something like out of Field of Dreams, all of a sudden, this silhouette comes walking through the park with no backpack, no sling back, a paddle in one hand and one ball in the other hand.
All I needed.
And I go, Dean, here he is. And he goes, are you sure he's going to give a lesson with one ball? And I go, Dean, that's what he's bringing. He's good. He's ready to go. And Dean goes, Dean, I'll never forget, Dean addressed him as champ, as he always does to this day. How are you, champ? He goes, are we going to do a lesson with just one ball? He goes, one ball? And I goes, I could use a frying pan if I need to. I don't even need a paddle. And gave him a great lesson. And Kyle was really, really cool to even play a game with him after with his friends who were playing in the other court. I think Christy Bradley was over there, but it was a group of his other guy friends there.
Okay.
And that's really what triggered it. Then when I'd see him in tournaments, we always talk, and that's what started it.
That's fantastic. Well, Kyle, let's jump back to you for a minute. I know you're the most decorated player in U.S. Open history and one of the most decorated in the sport. I mean, every time I turn on I see YouTube on the weekends, I see all these kids, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, probably where you were 10 years ago. How do you keep up with the young kids? I mean, they're it
Keep
seems
up.
like they're,
How are they going to catch up to me?
hey, that's good. That's fair enough.
But I will say it's awesome to see younger people playing. Back when I started, there was no one my age playing. The guys I played with at the local rec center every day or every week were in their 40s. No one really under 20 really was playing, or under 30 was really playing near me.
Mm-hmm.
And kids. And people ask, why are there not more kids playing? Well, they don't have time. They got school and other sports and other things. Pickleball is a hobby if you got free time, and especially people in college, they working, they've got class and stuff. They just don't have time. I was kind of lucky in that I was able to be one of the first people to take it professionally and actually be able to make a career out of it. So I was kind of one of the first younger people to start being able to do that. But now that I see more teenagers and juniors start playing, I think it's really exciting to see that the sport is growing. It's definitely improving, because back when I was 16, 17, 18, there was no one my age or younger playing. So it's cool to see it growing. I love helping out the kids. I know how much fun I had playing when I first started, and it's just fun to share that with other people.
Sure.
And you might have had certainly a part to play in that. Getting the younger kids involved.
Well, I know when I was watching it on YouTube and I was seeing 40-year-olds playing, it wasn't really enticing for me to play. But I think if kids also go on and they see younger people playing, it makes them feel a little more comfortable getting involved. I think breaking that stigma where it's an older person sport is pretty important for kids. So we're gonna make pickleball mainstream. We're gonna make it cool, and we'll see how far we can take it.
It's already happening.
Fantastic. So Kyle, let's talk about this for a minute. Do you have a personal trainer, or do you have a special eating program, nutritionist? I mean, how do you stay
Eat all the
limber
time.
and stay away from the Briars and Ben and Jerry's?
Well, I'm not gonna eat ice cream after this, that's for sure. But I mean, I'm pretty picky with what I eat. I don't eat fast food. I really don't eat sugar. I don't ever drink soda. It upsets my stomach. Just like tonight, I just grilled some veggies and some chicken. So I kind of stay on it on my own. Just otherwise, my stomach can't really handle kind of junk food.
Forced
Anyways,
to eat clean. Yeah.
Yeah. But once you start eating good clean food, then it's hard to go back and try something else.
Sure.
Like, for example, when we were in California and my friends wanted In-N-Out, and I can't really eat stuff like that, or I pay for it later that day or the next day. Yeah, I don't really have a necessarily trainer per se. There's a guy that I work out with here at home, a guy who actually has been in the fitness industry for his career, and so I go to the gym with him pretty often. Jason Whitrock. I don't know if he's watching this right now, but super cool dude. He plays pickleball too. That's how I met him. But it's funny, you do meet people through pickleball, and you find out what they actually do for a living, and you meet a lot of cool people, and so he's one of them.
So is it mostly core strengthening that you work on, Kyle, or?
With him it's all strength training in the gym, trying to get a little bigger. It's extremely difficult for myself personally to actually like build muscle, because when you play so much pickleball, you burn so many calories.
Yeah.
It's so hard to eat so much. So with him, it's a lot more just trying to strength train, actually trying to like add weight. So I can't really work out too hard with him, for example, right before I go to a tournament or something, so I'll be sore. But like this week, since I'm home and I don't really have a tournament for a few weeks, I'm gonna go work out with him tomorrow. So yeah. Otherwise, a lot of cross training. I personally, I get bored just going to work out. I can't just go for a run or go to the gym too often. I need to kind of keep things fresh. I don't want it to seem too monotonous. So I like to go swimming or do other sports or go hiking, things like that, even biking, just a little more active things where I'm getting a workout in, but I'm not just going through a boring routine in the gym. But Jason, who I work out with, he makes things interesting, keeps it fresh, a lot of new things, so he makes it fun.
That's fantastic. Well, let's go back to you for a minute, Randy. So we'll get to your business in a minute. But as a businessman and a pickleball player, where do you see the business of pickleball heading? Tournament sponsorships, larger sporting good companies getting involved. Where do you see this going?
Just from my perspective and my opinion, I believe that we haven't even scratched the surface yet. It's it's not going anywhere. It's just a snowball that just keeps accumulating more snow, just rolling downhill. So it's going to be common now. You can just see really what, for example, like Dick's Sporting Goods, who were involved in promoting the sport. And I remember when I first looked and saw their pickleball area, it couldn't have been more than 15 square feet. And now they're slowly beginning to develop more and more space towards it. And when you see these different stores, getting involved in the sport, and now you're seeing a lot of these tennis shops.
Carrying pickleball, sure.
Pickleball, whether it's clothing. And I can speak, for example, like Pro-Am Tennis, which is here in Naples. They have two sides. And now, boy, pickleball is a third of their shop. Paddles, balls, just shirts, hats. It's amazing. And I just don't think, I know it's not slowing down. And I think the more people in this business, the merrier. I think competition ups everyone's game. It makes everything better, whether it's the equipment, whether it's the apparel. It just gets everyone to make a better and better and better product.
You brought up a point with paddles, because I know Kyle's been playing longer than all three of us combined. How different do you notice, Kyle, the paddles have changed significantly in the last 5 years?
Significantly.
Yeah.
There's definitely been a change last, actually, I think just a year. When I first started, there were really only like two paddles in the market. There was the Pickleball Inc. had the Champion and the Legacy, which is graphite, and Nomex, which is like a cardboard. So I'd buy a graphite Champion, and after 2 months of playing, it would start cracking or breaking apart at the corners, just kind of real cheap. And then I found the school paddle from Paddle Tech, and it said it had a 5-year warranty where it wasn't going to break for 5 years. And I thought that was ridiculous, because I was breaking paddles every 2 months. And so I tried it out, and it was a polymer core. It was like a plastic, and a lot of other companies started copying it, and that's what the majority of paddles are made out of today. Now you got companies like Gearbox with carbon fiber. You got Electrum with super gritty surfaces. You're seeing a lot of experimentation and innovation, and it's exciting to see where it's going. I'm kind of a purist. I like to keep paddles a little simpler. I don't really want them getting too crazy, too powerful, too much spin. But it's exciting to see what people can come up with.
Excellent. Now, you bring up Paddle Tech. How's your relationship with Paddle Tech been, Kyle, and how long is that?
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. Yeah, funny story. I was playing my first ever nationals with my Bantam. I had just bought 4 or 5 months prior for the first time, and I'm playing nationals. I'm actually in kind of later in the day, and I went down for volley really, really hard and kind of busted the top corner of my paddle. Just a freak thing. I just landed on it weird and kind of crushed it. And it was the only paddle I had. So I'm playing nationals. I had a bronze medal match coming up, and I had a broken paddle. And I didn't know anybody, and I didn't know any better. I didn't want to buy a paddle, so me just being a kid, I just went and played anyways with the broken paddle, and we ended up barely losing. And after the match, I went over and I sat down. I was bummed because we got third in the pro mixed doubles, my first nationals. And I was like, man, if my paddle wasn't broken, I'm pretty sure I would have won that match. And a guy comes up to me. He said, "Hey, great playing. How do you like that paddle?" And I said, "Well, I love it, but look at it." And I folded over, and he his eyes was like, "Oh my gosh, how'd you do that?" And I was like, "I just fell on it. I don't know." And he's like, "You played with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't have any money." And he said, "Here, come with me." And he took me over. We went to this tent. There was a whole bunch of Paddle Tech paddles. And he said, "Which ones do you like?" And I was like, I like the Bantam. He goes, "Here," and he handed me 2 of them. And I was like, "Thanks." And he said, "Nice to meet
guy,
you."
Right?
Nice to meet you. I'm Curtis Smith. I own these. and so that was the first time meeting Curtis, the founder of Paddle Tech. And fast forward a year, they ended up sending me a formal contract to play for them, and it's been great ever since. That was like 7 years ago. I've been using the exact same paddle ever since. Obviously, not the exact same one that
Newer
I had,
version,
but
right,
the Bantam EXL. So it's kind of funny, and yeah, I still love it. I try out other paddles all the time, and I still find that paddle to Bantam EXL just feels the best to me.
That's a
Works
great
best for you. That's
story.
perfect.
I love it.
I know a lot of people, Jeff, you know them too. They always have their A paddle and their B paddle. So they'll play with different paddles. If they're playing bad with their A, they'll use their B paddle, right, Kyle? We always see it.
Yeah, no, I stick with the same one.
No, it's smart.
Yeah, people ask me how long do you play with that paddle, and I was like, well, until it breaks. I'll use the same one until I either intentionally or unintentionally break it.
Right. That's great.
So, Kyle, are you 26?
I am. Good guess.
So, what does the future hold for you playing professionally? Have you thought about your future? Do you plan to play seniors someday? I mean, is it your goal to stay in pickleball?
I'm not even thinking about seniors yet.
Oh gosh, you got to make it to seniors.
I'm not even halfway there. Actually, I'm barely halfway there.
Yeah.
It was exciting to see this year the new tours and you're seeing professional level growing. I'm still not 100% happy with the growth so far. I feel like they still got a ways to go to improve a lot of things. So I'm not really sure how much I'll play next year. There's just, like I said, there's just some growing pains that they got to work out to make it feasible for players to really travel and compete as much as they're expecting us to. So if they make it, possible, if I can afford it, I would love to keep competing. But I'm getting carried away doing a lot of other things. I think I've played so many tournaments, and now so many other pro players that people get to watch. I feel like I can do a lot more for the sport in other ways than just competing. If you got 40 something teams every tournament, there's plenty of pro players. I'd like to do something a little more productive, something else. So, for example, getting to work with Randy and getting in the business end. I'm hoping to obviously continue teaching. Keep an eye out for Yates Pickleball Academy. It's here. It's growing. And also, I'm focused on possibly even directing tournaments and getting into that side of things. So, I feel like there's a lot more I could do for the sport than just competing, although I still enjoy it.
That's great. Well, that brings you, you open the box on PB1965. So, Randy, let's jump over to you for a minute. How did the idea come about? And, how did you and Kyle decide to co-brand PB1965?
Well, back to the story, when I showed up at the park my very first night to play pickleball, I was just looking around at the other 7 or 8 players that were there. And I noticed a couple, and again, this was in May, so the weather we know down here in South Florida starts getting pretty warm. And boy, there were a couple of people wearing cotton shirts, and after 5 minutes, they just looked like a dishcloth, just soaking sweat. And then I saw some other folks and just some other type of, workout shirts. And I saw one person look like Larry the Cable Guy out there, with the whole cut-off sleeves and everything, and thread hanging out. And I think what really did it was that very first night I saw a T-shirt with a pickleball paddle and a martini glass. And I said, man, there's got to be something better than this, And as I kept playing more and more, I was seeing shirts that said, dink responsibly and stay out of my kitchen. And I said, man, why hasn't anyone brought like a level of sophistication to this sport? Because it's such a friendly game and there's such great camaraderie. And you could tell a lot of people, the friendships that this game has forged. I said, I think people want to wear something that they're going to be proud of. And it's going to look sophisticated and it's going to be elegant. And I had an idea. I said, man, let's think about a pickleball apparel company. So I called a friend of mine in New York who's in that business, sports apparel. And he didn't think I was serious. People, Fortune 500 company. The next year, I say the same thing. I want to do it until finally, I guess it was 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I said, I'm getting into this sport with or without you. You're going to help me. He goes, okay, I'll help you. He said, how much money are you willing to lose? And I told him,
Nice way to get started, right, Randy?
yeah. And I told him, he said, okay, here's how we're going to do this. But I said to myself, I said, if I'm going to do this and eventually leave my job one day, I can't do this alone because number one, I know nothing about apparel. And number two, the only thing I know about pickleball is to hit the ball hard and go there and play at nighttime. I don't know anyone in the sport. So that's when the light bulb went off and I said, you know what? Kyle Yates. I said, the best player in the world, young guy, smart guy.
Don't get crazy now, okay, Randy? Don't get crazy over there.
And I said, let me call Kyle Yates. And I called him on the phone and I said, can we meet? I'd like to talk to you about something. And we actually met at Veterans Park, right out by the picnic tables by the hockey rink. And I shared my idea and my
Randy, tell people where that park is, because now a lot of people watching.
Veterans Park is another park in Naples.
In Naples?
They have roughly, they started with 8 courts and now I believe they have 14 courts. Is that right, Kyle? Right around there?
Veterans is what, North Naples?
It's in North Naples.
Veterans, yeah,
right off
North
of
Naples.
Immokalee,
Okay.
right off of Immokalee, and really, really good players there and really nice people. So that's where Kyle and I met. And Kyle, one of his very first things to me said, you know, I've been playing this game for like 8 years, 9 years. And I've been wondering why no one's come up with a pickleball only apparel line. So I said, well, let's do it. And we talked for about 2 hours. And he goes, let me think about this and I'm going to get back to you. And sure enough, I think it was 2 or 3 days later, my phone rang and there it was, Kyle Yates. And I remember I took a big, deep breath and said, I hope this is a good call.
Is that what he said, Kyle?
I said it to
I'm
myself.
having trouble hearing him. What do you say?
I said to myself, I said, I hope this is a good call. And Kyle said, Randy, let's do it. And man, I said, great, let's do it. So it wasn't much longer. It was about 3 weeks later. I showed him some fabric of some, just to start with, some men's and women's shirts in these hoodies, which have become our signature item. And he said, these look really nice. He just gave me one piece of information about a men's t-shirt. I said, what can he possibly say about a men's t-shirt? What does he need to change? And he talked to me how if there's too much material down by the waist, it gets in the way when he swings and hits the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants it to fit nicely in everyone, and he doesn't want the apparel to get in the way of people's game. So I said, wow, Kyle really is going to be instrumental here in this. Yeah. So that was it. He got back to me a couple of days later, and next thing you know, we put in our very first order. It was $5,300 worth of clothing. They delivered 12 boxes to my 1-bedroom, 865 square foot South Beach, Miami apartment. And I said, my God, what am I going to do? I don't even have a place to eat anymore. and the person who was making the clothing for me at the time said, what are you going to do when there are 10,000 boxes? And I said, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Right. You will.
So when did you sell your first shirt?
It was October 31st, and I know the reason why. Because, not to divulge, but, you know, Kyle's a partner, and by November 15th, we had to write up a little check for what we did, and we did one order. And Kyle still has that check, I believe, in his room. So we sold it on October 30th, and then our website went live like December 9th of 2019.
Okay.
We put a website together. All of a sudden, when I became partners with Kyle and people found out, all of a sudden I started meeting people that I would have never dreamt of meeting in this sport. And it just took off from there. If I can just
Someone
tell.
asked the question, Randy, the 1965 in the logo. What made you guys decide we know why 1965, but at what point did you decide we're going to have this
Well,
that year?
When I talked to Kyle about it that day when I first talked to him, I came to Kyle with the logo. But I remember when I was talking to Kyle in the past, he talked about, how the game began. Kyle, like Mike Tyson to boxing, a historian.
Sure.
Kyle's a historian of this game. He knew some of the founding fathers of the sport. Mr. McCallum, right, Kyle, who passed away not long ago, was a friend of Kyle's. And we wanted to pay homage to the founding fathers of this sport.
There you go.
I also thought that it would be a good way to begin conversation on this logo. I thought it would be a good way for people to say, what's 1965 all about? And it starts the conversation.
Right.
And that's really what it is. So many people ask, what's 1965? A lot of people say it's the year I was born or it's the year I got married. And I say, yeah, that's why we did it.
Yeah.
So Kyle, tell us, I know that you do some testing. I heard the story when Randy and I were talking the other day about, he showed me one of your future products that was a hat. And I said, that's a great hat because it's light. And he goes, well, Kyle and I had that conversation about a hat being too heavy. And, I haven't played the game but a couple of years, and I can't wear my baseball caps out there. I want something that's light and
Breathable,
can absorb. But so anyway, getting back to the question, Kyle, sorry. What is your role in the business? I know you test some products and make suggestions.
I like to think I've got a bunch of roles. The main thing that I felt like I could help Randy out, besides marketing and whatnot, but as far as actually how the business goes, was making sure that we had products people were going to like. Randy could attest, I was a little picky, or I am a little picky. Definitely not easy because I want to be proud of everything we come out with. I don't want to be selling something or pushing something to the public that I don't personally want to use myself. So everything that we have is except for maybe the squirts, although I think I still would probably wear them. Everything that we have, I personally would wear and enjoy wearing. The wristbands we have are actually my favorite wristbands of any I've ever had. The hats, the favorite hats that I have, the shirts. I mean, we went through tons of material. Randy would send me, a whole bunch, 6, 7 different shirts at a time, and have me try to pick out which one I like best. And wasn't always easy. And I definitely had to shoot down a few different prototypes of things. But eventually we came up with something we both could agree on. Same thing with the logo. We fiddled around with it for a little bit and found something that I felt was classy and simple and elegant enough. But as far as the shirts go, he can tell you how picky I was coming up with my Henley collar shirt. I mean, we went through a bunch of materials, a bunch of designs, just been constantly over and over and over again because I wanted to make sure it was right, something I was proud of, and I think so far we've done a pretty good job. The biggest issue for us right now is we want to come out with more women's stuff, and I told him, I said I don't know what makes good women's clothes, and so we've had the opinion of women, telling us. So we try to make sure something that people are going to want.
Randy, I do know someone for you, so after the show, I'll share that with you.
Okay.
For women's clothing.
Thank you, Michael. And something else too, when I got into this business, all we had to lose was some money, but I took it upon myself to say, you know what, the money is not the issue here. I said, I'm bringing Kyle Yates into this.
Right.
Most decorated, most famous pickleball player in the world. I would say he on the men's side, and obviously Moni on the women's side. And I said, whatever we do here, this is going to be a direct reflection on Kyle, because still to this day, Kyle, I believe, is the only owner of whether it's a paddle or an apparel brand in this sport. He is an owner of a company, a co-founder. And I said, I cannot let this young guy down and damage his reputation in any way. Whatever we make has to be great.
Good.
And Kyle has taken that to the umpteenth degree. It's because when I asked him to wear some shorts just with our logo on it early on, he said no, because when people ask me, where can I get these shorts? He said, no, these are just a branded, a different branded short with our logo on it. When I wear the shorts with our logo on it, we're going to have it for sale. And it's actually, they've been in development for such a long time. It's
Okay.
not a thing to do. So that's been really, really important to me, to just make sure it's something that Kyle, when he walks around, his head is high and proud of what we've done, and people love our products.
I think it matters, and Kyle could attest to this. It's one less thing that you want to think about when you're on there playing a match is, are my clothes bothering me? Or is my wristband not working? Or am I struggling with a paddle? You want to have one less thing to even think about. You know, I know Kyle's laughing. He knows I'm right. That's the type of thing you want to go out there and you want your mind just to be clear with everything else. Not my shoes, not my socks, not my paddle, not my hat. Me, I think about food. I always bring a ton of food. So I'm a mess. What can I tell you?
When we were working with the hat, it's
Yes.
funny, I thought we nailed the hat. It came back. Kyle was actually, I met him up at the Bonita Y.
Okay.
I was so proud of this hat.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle put the hat on. I should have sent the picture in.
And?
But Kyle said it's a beautiful hat. It really is. But I couldn't play a tournament in this hat. It
There
was
you go.
almost like an Abraham Lincoln hat, you know? It was so big and it was bulky. He said, I'd wear this to dinner, I'd wear it out, but I can't play. And that's when it really, the light bulb went off with me about
What's the difference?
and what that means. He said, I need a really light hat, something a little more floppier. Because as you just alluded to, Michael, you want something that you don't even know it's on, really,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's almost like a really good official. A really good official is one that you don't even know is officiating, right?
Correct.
So that's, and this is what we've gone through with quite a few products, like Kyle just alluded to with his animal shirt and others.
That's fantastic. Well, unfortunately, my my keynote went down, so I can't share some of the pictures that you sent me. But one of the ones that I think I can share here a little bit is
Nice. Very
your
nice.
camps. Right? And I guess you can't see that very well, so I'm probably not gonna share that. But I know that you're doing some camps now, Kyle, and
Right.
unfortunately for those trying to get into your camp, they're sold out. Tell us a little bit about how the camp, where the camps are and what future dates look like. I know you don't have dates specifically, but how are you going to be doing them on a regular basis? Or
Well, yeah, fitting them in my schedule is tricky. Next year, I'm hoping to plan a bunch more. But we just did a couple camps in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It was just about 2 months ago, and they went really smooth. I was very happy with it. Got great feedback. And when I get feedback like that, it encourages me to do another one. So we're going back to Atlantic City, do 3 more. Happy that they're filled up. Hopefully do more in other parts of the country. I've got clinics in Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, all within the next month and a half. Some clinics in Dallas in a couple months. September, I think I'm pretty busy with tournaments, but trying to teach more. I tell people the only thing I like more than playing pickleball is talking about pickleball, and so teaching seems to make sense. But I do enjoy it. I like the camp feel. I enjoy giving lessons and clinics, but what I find with the camps is that I actually get to stick around and spend more time with people. With the clinics, I can go around and I basically give a seminar where I teach people for like 2 hours. And then some of them I don't ever see again, or I don't see them for several months. For the camps, I actually get to work with people, for an extended period of time, for 8 hours, over the course of 2 days, where I actually feel like I get to see improvement in these people. And that to me makes it worthwhile. If I was just going out there just rambling and just, giving my spiel to a bunch of random people and I don't even remember their names, it just doesn't do anything for me. I'd get bored of that. But the fact that I go and do these camps or actually meet all these people, I know all of them on some sort of personal, level by the end of the day or the second day, and I actually can form some sort of relationship with every single person and actually
There you go.
find a
That's
way
what
to
it's
actually
about.
help each person, because
Yeah.
that's really why I'm there. I'm there to help make sure that everybody gets better as pickleball players, and so I I don't really enjoy just going and just talking for 2 hours and then never seeing them again. I actually like to work with them and see them improve and make sure that I'm doing something productive for them. And that makes it worthwhile to me. And that's when I get something out of it. Because Randy can attest, I'm not the kind of person that comes and just does a half-assed job and leaves and just takes my money. I mean, I'm there because I actually want to be there. I actually want to be helping these people. And in fact, I actually take it personally if I don't help somebody. If I leave there and I don't feel like someone got better, I take that personally, and I feel like I failed as an instructor. I take that stuff very seriously, and I really try to do a good job. So hopefully that translates, and hopefully people appreciate it. So far, we've got good feedback. But like I said, I'm 26. I've taught a ton of pickleball. I've taught with some great instructors like Simone and some of these people, and I feel like I've learned a lot. But I'm improving also, and so with these camps, I'm hoping I can just keep doing a better job every time, and try to help more people.
I want to interject for a second, Jeff, with Kyle, to agree with him. When you're doing boot camps, a few different things happen that you don't get in a one-day clinic. You actually spend more time with them. They get to know you, you get to know them, and they become a repeat customer. Because when you leave, it's when are we going to see you next time? And now you're in college, we learn what's called a BAM fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. And so while you're there, they're already setting up the next camp. And that's the whole thing that I think Kyle was alluding to. I'd much rather go to these boot camps and spend more than just an hour with each person, and you get to know them. And now they know, listen, when they talk to their friends, next time we have a camp or at our development, we already know the person to call, and it'll be a smooth transition. The second time is even easier.
Yes. And I likely going to see a lot of them again at some point. And so it's really embarrassing for me when someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, Kyle, remember me from that camp in New Jersey, a few months ago?" And if I don't remember them, I feel really bad. So I try to remember everybody. Obviously, it's hard to meet a lot of people, but that means a lot to me, and so I try to remember everybody as best I can.
But if I can say, Mike, if I can just interject here.
Of course.
So when we did the camp about 6 weeks ago in Atlantic City, we had food, we had drinks, we had everything set up, and I got name tags for everyone.
Smart.
And Kyle said, "That's great." He goes, "We'll only need them for about 15 minutes, and I'll have everyone's name down." And I thought he was kidding. But no, his memory, his boom, boom. That's all he needs. 1 or 2 times, he's got everyone's name. People love that. And if I could just share a little bit about his camp, we have a woman who's helped us up there, Steph Hollander, who's just been amazing at helping us organize this whole set of camps. And as Kyle alluded to, at this round, it's 25% of the folks are coming back to take the camp again.
That's awesome.
People, if you're a tennis player, for example, it's very unlikely, or you'd have to have an awful lot amount of money to have Roger Federer come have a lesson, take a camp with Roger Federer, or to take a batting lesson with Barry Bonds, or to shoot baskets with LeBron James. But in what sport can you play with the most decorated player in our sport?
I know. Golf. Did anybody know how good he is at golf? I bet you nobody knew that one, huh?
He tells me.
Tell people why you think you're such a good golfer. It's in your blood.
Yeah, I didn't want to play golf growing up much because both my parents are professionals, and so I figured I'd never be able to beat them anyway. So I figured I would do sports that they had never played. So neither one of them had played tennis, neither one of them had ever played soccer. So those were the 2 sports I did growing up. But now I appreciate golf. I actually enjoy it.
And Kyle's mom's also a professional referee. And you might be at a tournament one day and his mom's telling you, football.
So Kyle, when you're not playing pickleball or doing a camp, you like to play golf. Anything else you like to do away from the court?
Yeah, I like doing anything fun. A little bit of everything. I mean, growing up, I played every sport. I sometimes I'm in the mood to do something active, so I'll go swimming, I'll go biking, I'll go to the beach. But also setting up a hammock and just taking a nap is sometimes really nice. I'm usually tired from always on the go. So sometimes just relaxing and chilling out is kind of nice. But like this week I was in California. I think I did more surfing than I did
There you
pickleball.
go.
In Florida, we don't get the opportunity to do that very often. So when I go someplace like California where the waves are a little better, I have to take advantage. Yeah, just staying
Spend
active.
more time on the East Coast. We have waves.
You guys have more waves than we do, that's for sure.
I love it. So Randy, let's just jump back to PB1965 for a minute as we close this out. So where does your inspiration come from? Obviously, you get guidance from Kyle. He's somebody who, if anybody knows, what he wants to wear and what's the best to wear on the court, he's a great one. But how about some designs and that sort of thing? Where does that inspiration come from?
A lot of it, I think a lot of those things come from within. I'm fortunate enough, I'm 59 years old. I have both of my parents. They're 87 and 85, and I have a younger brother I'm pretty close to. And they just share with me. They say, they're very supportive, and they said, just keep doing what you're doing and take what you think is right. Talk to Kyle, you collaborate, and just go with your gut feeling and just see what the needs are of the people. I have people, boy, I'll tell you, at the courts, if we made everything that everybody wanted, ladies crop tops, we wouldn't be able to make everything. So we really have to listen to everyone and try to take the consensus and see what the needs are of the people. The best way is going to the pickleball players themselves and saying, hey, do you like this shirt? Do you like this hoodie?
Sure.
What would you make different? What would you change? And trust me, you ask folks that question and they will give you their answers. So not only will they talk to you about colors, but they'll talk to you about designs and what they'd like. And just listen to everyone and just do what you think is the right thing to do.
Fantastic. And in that vein of 1965 and apparel, tell us what you're going to do for the listeners and watchers tonight, Randy.
We are going to give a promo code and a discount. And Jeff, you can announce the promo code and the discount.
All right. I am going to type this in. And those of you on, let's see, it's all caps. See if my eyes work here. Those of you on YouTube, hopefully you can see it. It's Coach Mike, all uppercase letters. And Randy and Kyle are going to give an amazing discount of 20% off at PB1965.com.
Yeah. When you check
I'm
out,
ordering right after the show.
when you check out, just put in the promo code Coach Mike, all capitals. That will get you 20% discount.
Good.
All right, that's good.
And just so everyone knows, we have another shipment of new products coming in Thursday night. So by sometime on Friday, we're going to have, for the very first time, women's quarter zips, a new style of ladies tank, and these lightweight drop tail hoodies, which have become a big hit in lavenders and in mint colors. And also we have a women's dip dye gradient t-shirt V-neck that we know is going to be a big hit. And just so you'll know what's coming, everyone, we have visors in the bright yellow colors, optic yellow, and we have matching hats in yellow and navy blue. We have them in Kyle's white, and he wears in all of his tournaments. So we have a lot of new products coming. Soon also our men's shorts down the road here. And we have a whole new set of skirts that we actually came back from Miami today and met with development folks for some new skirts.
So Randy, will we be able to look forward to seeing you wearing some of those skirts, right?
I
On
can
the
still,
courts?
I can still on a 2X probably.
2X.
But I have something here, Mike, that
Yes.
that you and Jeff don't know. Hold on 1 second, please.
Okay.
Hopefully he's not giving away the rest of the store tonight,
No.
Kyle.
Mike, because Kyle's relationship with you and my relationship with both you and Jeff, we're going to leave it up to you and Jeff.
Uh-oh.
We made this paddle up as just a promo paddle.
Sure.
Beautiful paddle, and Kyle's actually just hit with it to fool around.
Yes. Looks great.
like to give it to the two of you and let you folks, whether you want to auction it off for a charity of your choice,
Very nice.
do something for one of your viewers. We'll
Okay.
have Kyle sign it,
Of course.
okay? And it'll be in Jeff's hands tomorrow.
Fantastic. That's very nice.
That's
We'll
very
get Kyle
gracious,
to sign it,
Randy.
however you'd like to have it signed, or however whoever's going to get it wants it
Sure.
signed. And it's really, really cool. It's a nice piece.
Very
That's
nice. Well
fantastic.
done.
Beautiful.
Did not know about that.
Well, guys, it's I know we've kept you for quite a while, and it's been an amazing show. I appreciate you both.
Thank you, guys.
so much
Appreciate
for
your
getting
time.
on. You guys are most gracious with your time.
When are you guys at the East Coast next? Any plans for the East Coast of Florida on the calendar?
Not in the
Sunday
foreseeable
night.
future. Hopefully soon.
Okay. Okay. So we'll plan something.
Seems like
There's
you
going to
need
be
come
more
west.
tournaments here at PGA Verano. You guys know that. We have 27 beautiful courts here with a championship court. And there'll be a lot more tournaments being held here because things are calmed down a lot, I think, for everybody. And it's
Mike,
a great
and Jeff, thank
location.
you for what you do for promoting the
Sure.
sport and having
Sure.
all the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
great people on the sport. And I'm humbled to be here and to be with you two. And
Well,
obviously,
you're at the right place at the right time with the right people.
yeah.
Thanks so
We
much, guys.
appreciate you, Randy.
appreciate you.
Kyle,
Best-
always great to see you, young man.
Thanks for having us.
Eat some bad food once in a while. It's good for you.
Let me go get my ice cream.
Best
Okay,
of luck
Randy.
moving forward, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk soon. Thank you, fellas.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so Coach Mike, another great
There's
show.
Randy. Randy, you did great, Randy.
All right, I'm trying to close the tab.
You don't have to close the tab. You did fantastic.
There he goes. Well, Coach Mike, any closing comments? That was an incredible show.
It's like I said before, it's just nice to let people know that Kyle's just not a phenomenal athlete. There's a lot more to him, and he's at a young age thinking about what am I going to do in the future? If I'm not going to be having a future playing pickleball, what about the other business aspects that are available in pickleball? There's so much to think about, and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely. Well,
I'm
Coach
glad
Mike,
I have a little piece.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Mike, thank you so much for your time.
Jeff,
Your
great
company is Paddle Up Pickleball.
Paddle Up Pickleball.
People can get in touch with you at what number quickly?
772-877-1370 for coaching, for video coaching.
All right. Fantastic. Well, as I close, I just want to dedicate this show to my dad.
Please do.
My dad, he was my hero. He was, ironically, he was a broadcaster. He owned a broadcasting school, very skilled tennis player. I think if he'd ever played pickleball, he would have loved the sport.
Sure.
Never got a chance to see me play in person, but I know he'll be looking down and being able to watch me play in the
Hey,
future.
there he is.
So, Dad, I love you. Have a great
Great
week,
show.
everybody,
Thanks,
and
Jeff.
we'll see you again next week. Thanks,
Yes,
Coach.
sir, Jeff. Have a great night. Great picture.